computer. Yeah, yep. Okay, this is the most essential
Good.
part here. It's where we've had the biggest issues. So hopefully that'll work for people. Okay, yeah. Dave, what I've been hearing is that, well, first of all, I sent a message to all of the drivers, telling them, instructing them what the login would look like. Because, there were a lot of individuals that were talking to me directly were leaving off the exclamation point. So I wanted to be sure that everybody saw that the password didn't end with the 2022, but with an exclamation point. And
Okay.
then also they weren't sure about whether the company should be capitalized or whatever. And I said, well, I think it probably should be lowercase. So I put that in there and reminded them what the user name would look like. So
Yeah,
all of that stuff,
I did set up as lowercase for sure. So
Okay.
thanks for clarifying that.
good. Okay. So all of that then has been identified for people.
I
But
need
still,
clarification on that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I need, after our phone conversation today, I'm starting from step one again. I don't know my personal login, how my name is supposed to go in. I haven't had any success logging in with any combination of my hyphenated name. And then I
It's
don't
not
know the
hyphenated.
company name. I
Pardon?
need.
Yeah,
all-
Peggy, let's hold that because I have a feeling you're not in the system.
Okay,
Yeah, I have a feeling you're not in the system, and so he hasn't put your name in one way or the other.
okay.
And
I've
I think
always
that's,
done the registration, when it asks me to, so that surprises me.
yeah, it does be, but I didn't see your name listed, but we can ask that. And in fact, the question for you, Dave, quickly before I continue, can you enter folks now? Like, is it a real drawn out process of putting people in?
No, it's pretty straightforward. So if I think what couple of things is the list that you sent me Sunday, Norma, I'm gonna put that back into a Google Drive, so it's shared drive, so that everyone can see that.
Yes.
And then I went off of first name, last name in that sheet there, but there was also some duplicates that I noticed, and there was in a couple of
yeah.
the duplicates, I think there might have been, some things capitalized, some things not. So I might have chosen, the wrong record rather than, on the duplicate. But I think number one, I'll just send that back to you in sort of a shared drive way that we can, work off of the same list. And then if there's anyone else that's like that we have to change their name around, or I do remember trying to add someone with a hyphenated name, but I wasn't sure if the system accepts hyphens or not. So we can troubleshoot that one offline.
And I'm not
and then if
I'm not seeing Peggy or Margaret on here. So,
okay, so
on the list, so you're not in, although I'm not seeing, oh yeah, there's 1 and 2. Yeah, so yeah, you're not on this list now, Peggy, so he needs to put you in.
So Norma, maybe like my first action, let me get a like a Google sheet that's a common form that we can work off of the list. So then as you're getting new people,
Okay,
you can add it, and then I can go in and see who's being added, or from your side on volunteer, and then I can go in and then add them into the system, and I can do that on a daily basis. That's not a problem. I can do it more than check it a couple times a day or whatever frequency we need
Sure.
for that, to make sure everyone's in that they need to be.
yeah, Jean has a question.
Yes, may I add Kathy Schluter? She's a friend of mine from church, and she said she sent in the schedule, but has not heard back, nor has gotten access to Taxi Caller. So if you see Kathy Schluter, if you
Okay.
could follow up with her.
All righty, I'll be checking the forms tonight to see what new ones I've gotten in the last couple of days or last day or so. So,
Okay, thank you, Norma. Thank you, Dave.
yeah,
Actually, Norma, maybe just to clarify, it sounds like you've gotten some new people into the list. Does it make sense for you to email me your updated list, and then I'll
yeah,
look at
let's
that?
do that since you have several. So Peggy, we'll get you on tonight, okay? I'll make sure that you're on that list when it goes out. Yeah, so now if he has a problem, if there's a problem in the system, and we're not saying it will be, but he's got this underscore in there. So if there's a problem putting in a hyphenated name, how can we proceed with yours?
If you want to just take my first last name, you could do Peg Cieslak. That's nice and short.
Okay,
You know, instead of Margaret, the whole 9 yards. How about just Peg Cieslak?
okay. So let's do that, Dave. If you can't get in her hyphenated name, which I'll give you, then
Okay.
I'll tell you the second option. Okay,
Okay.
Sounds good.
Norma, I've got to run in about 2 minutes. Can I ask you a quick question?
sure, please.
So my problem is, so I have the Taxi Caller app, but then when I put, start shift and then look at the jobs, it always says no queued jobs. So today I actually got a call from Jen confirming that I had received information on a pickup that she set up for me, and I did not have it.
Hmm.
So I have not been able to see any of the data in my app.
Okay,
Was that so it was just so I can dig into it, it was something scheduled for like after your shift started. So the call came in earlier in the day, and then it was booked for later in the day, and the volunteer assigned it to you. Is that the scenario?
Yeah, but I've had a couple of things assigned to me and nothing is showing up on my app. So I've just been getting information from Norma via text, and then I got this call from another volunteer.
Okay. All right. I'll Norma, do you know which like voters or which rides were supposed to be signed?
It
that I
was-
can.
well,
It was somebody named JZ, I think, or JD on 60th Street. That's the one that Jen called me about.
yeah, and you know what she's saying, the assignment wasn't a direct, because they're not assigned, Maureen. But the reason that I think she's saying there was a problem is that she was the only driver. So if you're the only driver, that means that anything comes in should be going to you, right? So if she saw that Maureen was the only driver out there, she figured Maureen should be getting that call, and she didn't.
Yeah. Every time I've gone in several times in the last couple of days, and I put start shift just to see if the app is working, and it is always showing no queued jobs.
Now,
So
when
I've
you
never-
say no queued jobs, where is that? Where does that come up? Because I don't see
On
see
the-
that word.
It-
That
On the app where it has those different boxes that you can, like on the left hand side it says shift start,
yes,
and then the next one just to the right of that, I think it says job list or something like that.
job view.
Job view, yeah.
Job view. And mine always says no queued job.
So that actually doesn't surprise me. I'd actually expect that, to be honest, because we don't have the schedule loaded into Taxi Caller, so they don't know when, the app doesn't know you're supposed to start a shift in an hour or 2 hours or next day. So it's waiting to assign a driver, and so when I would expect everyone when they start their shift, they would say no to jobs.
But then when and how do you get the data of who you're supposed to pick up?
So then that's when like the job will get assigned to you, and then it'll be pushed like a notification that like a request has been pushed to you. So that's what I want to look into with these requests. Why, if you were the only driver, why it didn't push it over to you?
Okay.
Well,
And
well,
where
I
did it
got a
go?
question, Dave, about, because it says that the assignments are automatic, right? So they're made automatic, but how do they decide how to make them? So if you've got 3 drivers out there, as an example, and that it's going to go out to someone automatically to one of those drivers, how is this app deciding which of those 3 drivers to push that to?
So so that's one of the follow-up questions I have with Taxi Caller.
Okay.
My understanding of it and how, you know, in broad strokes is obviously like if a driver is available versus someone that's already doing something, you know, it's taking a voter, like that would be the first priority, right? We'll assign it to someone who's available. And then within who's available, it's, you know, my understanding is sort of like a geolocation to understand who's closest, but how to actually like change those configuration settings, I'm not sure of. And that's where we're trying to get a hold of the rep from Taxi Caller
Yeah.
to adjust that.
Yeah, one of the reasons that came up is that we've got a driver that lives on the south side, as an example. And so because a lot of our calls, the largest volume of our calls are coming from the north side, her question was, well, can I even get an assignment if I'm on the south side, or do I have to come and stand around on the north side in order to even be assigned? And so I couldn't answer that question.
So right now the answer is yes, but
Okay.
what I'm also like, how we can set it up, and I'm also this is what we were, you know, trying to understand with the volume on election day, is we can create zones too, so
Mhm.
that like we can call zone 1 like the south side, you know, and zone 2 west side, and zone 3 north side, you know, simplistically, right? And then we can assign drivers to those zones where they can only take requests, you know, that are coming from those zones.
Okay,
Um,
so now what happens if, let's say we've got 3 zones, I'll just start an example. We got 3 zones and we have drivers assigned to the 3 zones, but one of the zones isn't getting any action. And so we say, well, okay, and maybe the other 2 zones are over stressed. Can we immediately change those drivers to the busy zones from their, you know, low turnout zone, or not? How does that work?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
So there's like a setting in there where you're assigning drivers to zones, and you can just go from the admin page to toggle it to say move someone from zone 1 over to zone 2.
Okay,
Just
okay. Yeah, I
and-
just want to be sure that we can get the coverage. Yeah, because, you know, there's no way to know where these calls are going to come from. So yeah, as long as we got that flexibility.
Yeah, no, and I think that is what we discussed. That's one of the things that we have to, you know, come up with a plan of attack, probably, you know, second half of next week in advance of election day. How do we want to handle the zoning of it?
Okay. Okay, so again, the issues, and Richard, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Norma.
Yeah, can you talk specifically about, because you've never been able to get on this thing, right?
I have not been able to get on. I tried to log in using company name, both with cap and lowercase s on Souls. My username is Richard_Larson. Caps on the first letter of each, and then the designated password, including the exclamation point. And first, I get an error that says vehicle blocked. And when I click OK to clear that, then I get another error that says wrong user info. So it makes me wonder if I'm in the system, or if my username was set up miskeyed somehow.
Yeah, I've got you here, Richard, Larson,
Correct.
Richard_Larson. I see you here.
And so I haven't been able to get past the logon screen.
Maybe delete the app and reinstall it.
Did it
Good idea, Jean.
already.
Oh, you've done that. Oh, been there, done
Good catch,
that.
Richard.
And where exactly do you get stuck in the app? Is it not letting you log in?
It's not
To
letting me
it.
sign in.
Now,
So-
you had said, give me the password. Read the password again to me that you're putting in there.
That I'm putting in
Yes.
capital S, lowercase t, uppercase P,
P,
2022.
P as in Paul?
Yep, Souls to the polls.
Mhm.
STTP 2022 exclamation.
Yeah, that's it. We couldn't catch you there, Richard.
Yeah, let me and
Do you have
So
a
you-
Android or an iPhone, Richard?
It's an iPhone.
and so you can't get to even to the screen to say select the vehicle. Is that right?
That's correct.
Just won't
The,
log.
the,
Okay.
yeah, the first error code I get is vehicle blocked. And I click OK, and then it comes back wrong user info.
Let me do this. I'm gonna delete out your vehicle. I'm gonna delete out your username, and I'm gonna re-enter it. And I'll send you then an email with
Okay,
once I reset it, and then maybe try it again, and then
Okay.
we'll go from there.
sounds good. Sounds good. I'll look for that. I'm actually driving right now, so it'll be a few before I can get to it anyway. So
Yeah, just.
no worries.
Yeah, try that
Okay.
tonight when you're home, and then we'll see what.
Will do.
Yeah, Richard's on schedule tomorrow. We'd sort of like him to be there. Right, Richard? You're on schedule, right?
Yeah, I'm on schedule like 11:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I am on schedule because I actually changed an appointment to be there for you tomorrow, Norma.
Oh, okay. Well, let's work on this. I do have my handy text though. I mean, you know.
I mean, push comes to shove. You've got
Push
my
comes to
text
shove,
info,
yeah.
but
Right. But yeah, it'd be nice to get this going. Okay, and then finally too, when you Dave, you could answer this. When you go on the App Store, and I want to just pull this up quickly. Just to check here.
the first time I tried to load it, I tried to load the passenger version of the app by mistake and nope, that's not what I want.
Okay, all right. So you did load it says taxi caller driver.
Driver.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, that's,
So, Richard, I just edited it and saved it again. So if you won't mind, give it a try again whenever you get a chance later tonight. And then, yeah, apologies for any difficulties there. Let's just see if this works. And then if not, we'll go from there. Okay.
I'll let Norma know either way tonight.
that's good.
And she can
Okay.
reach out. Unless, did you email me directly, Dave?
I'm just double checking to make sure I got your email here. Let's see. Yeah, I see it. Yep, I got it. I'm gonna email you right now, so you have my email directly.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And then, yeah, and I'll
All right.
copy you, Norman and Norma, and then just let me know, Richard, if it
I'll let
works.
you know. Yeah, I'm half an hour out from home, so I'll play with it when I get there.
Okay, all right. Yeah, sorry for the difficulties.
Yeah, oh, no, Dave, this is not your fault, please.
Oh, we'll get it.
Yeah,
Rather get it worked out ahead of time than show up and say, now what do I do?
well, and the thing is this is kind of our, this is a lag time for us, really. Whatever activity we've had, it's only going to build. So that's why we got this moment to, work out these glitches.
Well, technology is wonderful, especially when it works right.
Well, and I yeah, right. And I tell everybody, when you're working with a nonprofit of any sort, whether it's this kind of, activism, or you're trying to, help people get food, whatever it is, if you're not flexible, then
Right.
you're in the wrong space.
Yep.
In the wrong space, because
Yep,
you gotta have flexibility in these,
Yep.
this game. So
I-
any other questions, or Dave, anything else? Because again, the only issue that I've heard is what Richard is described, where they just can't get in. They get all these messages. Barbara was having that issue, but she apparently worked through it. So something that was happening, she was able to get past. And then I think once people get inside, there, other than the issue that Maureen brought up, and the issue again of how this question of how does this automatic system works here in terms of pushing this out to drivers when you've got several drivers standing around. They're all out there standing around. How does it push? Because I had two drivers on today. One, Candy, didn't get anything. But we only had, one, but Jean did get it, right? It came to you pretty directly, Jean, is that correct?
Yeah, once I figured out that I hadn't put the exclamation point in the password, and then it just flowed.
It just flowed,
Okay.
yeah. And that's how my system worked. I mean, I was working with Howard this morning, and I was getting all of the call I had in there, the booking I had was coming to me seamlessly. Just every time I opened up my phone, it would pop up, and of course I'd have to decline because I'm not taking a call, but it never would push to Howard, Dave. It wouldn't go to him for some reason, and he was sitting there in the parking lot with his phone open, and it would never go to him.
Okay. All right. I'll have, like, I'll just, I don't have the answer for that.
Yeah,
And
I can see.
let me get into, just kind of dig into it tonight on that part. So,
Okay.
um,
Yeah, we were playing around with it because I kept changing the pickup time for this person so that we could test it out. And, and so as we were testing it out, I could see it was popping up for me, but it just wouldn't pop up for him.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. And then I think it was Peg that was earlier talking about the hyphenated name. So I'm updating that with the hyphen. I'll email you directly, copy Norma, and maybe give that a try to see if that'll work there. I made a slight adjustment to how I entered it, and hopefully it works.
Oh, yeah, I see you.
This is Barbara.
Mhm,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
I was finally able to get into the app, the Taxi Caller Driver app. But I could see the messages you sent me in the app, but I could not reply to any messages. Is that how it's supposed to work?
There's a chat because Candy chatted with me quite a bit.
Well, I couldn't make it work, so I don't know. Because your message came in and I could read your message, but it didn't give me an option to reply. It gave me only an option to close it.
Where is the chat feature, Candy? Maybe
It's
they're not,
right
maybe
at
it's
the
not a
top.
reply, but just the chat. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see now. Okay, it's once you're into it, right across the top of the window, it's got current, queue, offers, map, dispatch, and chat. The one on the right side is chat. And it doesn't have an option to reply. You just, hit the message thing again.
Okay,
Okay.
I have, at the bottom, it says active, queue, offers, map, and chat. So you're saying hit chat.
Yeah.
And then where do I hit? Then nothing comes up. I
It
hit
doesn't say
chat.
send a message?
Nope.
Hmm.
Nope.
Does it
doesn't.
have a little box where you can write something in there?
Nope.
What kind of phone do you have?
iPhone 13.
Okay, I can't help you then.
Do you hit, what do you hit? Like, so I'm in and it says, just says job view. And then it says available, busy, away, and there's nothing there. And then it says you can chat, but then nothing comes up. The blue chat button is there, but there's nothing more.
And I'm not even seeing any of that, frankly.
Well, you have to go into, you have to hit job view.
Oh, job view. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yes, yeah, okay. Under job view, there's the chat button. That's what you're hitting to chat. Send
Yeah.
a message. Do you see
Nope,
send a message?
nope. I hit chat and nothing comes up, nothing. I just, the blue button, the button goes blue.
Yeah, this is what mine looks like. You see the chat button on the
Yeah,
right?
mine's at the
and then at the
bottom.
bottom?
Mine's at the bottom. Nope,
Send-
mine, I have chat and that's it. Then nothing comes up and it's at the bottom. My chat is at the bottom.
Mhm.
Oh,
'Cause that-
okay, so
You do it under job view, right?
Mhm.
yeah, so.
Yeah.
So Barbara, let me, I think I see, well, I understand what you're saying. I don't have the corrective answer for you yet, but I see what you're saying. So let me see if I can dig into finding a solution.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, Dave, you're gonna be contacting their tech support or their rep to see if you can get
Yeah,
a meeting or get some kind of
I'll-
conversation.
I'm gonna first just see if there's some online help information I can dig up. But then otherwise, I'm gonna contact their customer support on that.
Okay. So Dave is going to reach back to me with the answers that he comes up with. And then I'm going to push those out. If this isn't, if it isn't something that I think everybody should get, I will just try to direct it at the individuals who have the issue. But if there's certain things, universal things, like I think you guys probably want to know how you're going to, you know, how calls are pushed, I think, is something I think everybody sort of know. When you're standing around with your other drivers, then it would be sort of nice to know, do we all have to be sort of in a similar location in order for this to happen? Can it push, you know, no matter where you are? I'm not quite clear about that, but I think that's something Dave is going to be able to tell us. And so I will make sure that everybody understands how that process works.
Thank you.
Still have a question.
Okay. You had a question?
Peggy.
Yeah.
does.
Mhm.
I don't know if I missed an email or somehow didn't hear this in the training, but for picking up the sticker for my car, I don't even know the address to go to. Was
Okay,
there an
well,
email sent with that?
Yeah, you
information?
missed that email, Peg,
Okay,
but I can get that to you. I'll text that over to
very
you.
good. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
and like I said, I don't know if you got this message, but once you pick that up, you don't have to bring it back until you're finished with the
Okay,
process, because we've got enough of them that
Okay.
everyone should be
okay,
able to get them.
very good. Thank you.
I went to the place today, but I wasn't sure what to do. Do I just go in the front door and ask them for the?
No, you gotta go in the back door. It's,
Go in
it's
the
the
back
door.
door.
Yeah, there's a sign on the front door
Yeah,
that
it's
says
a
go to the back
door
door.
that is
Okay,
Yeah, and when you,
off, it's a door that's off the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And the parking lot is full and it's
busy,
a door without a window, but just go in. When I was in day before yesterday, there was an Angie there who knew where the signs were within the office space and
all
got
right.
them for me.
well, I was like, well, I just won't go in. I didn't know what to do, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
well,
Wasted
they
wasted
wouldn't
a
in the
a
parking
trip.
lot, Barbara. They wouldn't be in the parking lot.
Well, I just figured there'd be a sign or something that I
Oh,
see.
okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there is.
Yeah, when I went in yesterday,
that
there was a
side door.
sign on the door off the parking lot. And you go in and turn to your left and that's the office. And somebody named Val knew exactly where the signs were.
Yeah,
And-
yeah. I think everybody in there, but now, well, I don't know if everybody does, so you could run into the one person who doesn't. But there is apparently a place in there where the Souls to the Poles canvassers and
Yeah,
are,
it's just to the left when you come in that door.
that's the, okay. And
Yeah.
so in that office, I think pretty much everyone in there has kind of been made aware that those are, the signs are in there.
Right, and there's a backing you have to peel off and save the backing. 'Cause you have to put the backing back on to get the signs back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All these details.
Okay. Well, any other questions? I think
So,
some of us got some homework to do.
so just a question, did anybody actually get a successful a job on the app today?
Yes.
Oh, good, good.
I had a 2 to 5 o'clock shift and I kept checking and there were no jobs in the queue. And then true to form, as Dave said, it was a very obnoxious bell that rang numerous times until I accepted it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss when it comes through.
It is,
Right.
it is. What
Okay,
I
I was on
did
the-
Positive
learn.
Energy that got it all working, your positive energy.
Yeah,
And what I did learn in the app was you have to hit each function at the bottom which allows you to move to the next street location at the top. And because I just plugged the address into my own Google Maps, but later once I hit waiting and that stuff, that brings up all the arrows that makes all the addresses work.
Yeah, so, and you put in your settings, I think it's settings, right, Dave, where you put in whether you want Google Maps or Apple Maps or something?
Yeah.
And you got that all set up. So does
Yeah, that-
everybody understand that you have to decide, you have to indicate which mapping system you want in order for the maps portion to work?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so
Okay,
Peggy, you'll see that when you go in. I think there's a settings and you indicate which map system you're going to use. And then once you indicate that map system, when you get an address, that can be your GPS, I guess, with that. Does that work as a GPS? Is that what it's for?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was on the same shift with Jean, but I didn't get the bell, so I'm assuming that Jean got it first, and if she hadn't picked it up, then it would have come to me.
That's what we're assuming.
Okay. Or if
Yeah.
you stopped at a gas station to go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, yep, and just missed it. Oops.
Yep.
So I'm guessing that there weren't a lot of requests for rides today.
This morning was
Right.
a nut. I had a guy calling me. I mean, he must have called me a dozen times.
Okay.
I wanted to say, we're not a cab service. We're not a cab service. They're on there. But yeah, it was pretty, and that's how this thing works here. It's like, it can be hectic in one moment. And I've seen this on each election I've worked. That there's this period where just everything is happening at once. I was on the phone with Peg. I'd been sitting here for 2 hours, nothing was happening. And the moment I get on the phone with Peg, I get a call from Telsio for a booking. I'm on the phone with Peg and the booking. Then I get a call from Reverend Lewis. And it's like, well, what was happening during those 2 hours that nobody contacted me? Now that everybody's contacted me. It's just nuts. But yeah, it was busy this morning and then it was really quiet this afternoon. We've
Okay.
got several people on for tomorrow. I think several, we've got several bookings. They may not all be tomorrow, frankly. But we do have some things on tomorrow, and then we'll just have to see if we get some other calls. Actually, I think we've only got a few calls for in the moment. We're getting most people calling to book people. The other thing, I don't know if I probably didn't tell all of you this, but it's certainly important for you to know in the call center. We have a wheelchair accessible van at our disposal. We don't have to
Wow.
refer people out. We can book those ourselves. Now, you can't book them in the booking center. You're not going to book them there because she's not set up to that. But you are going to, you can send them over to me, refer them to me, and then I will text her this information. But we have we've done it once. She was out on Sunday at Midtown. She took a mother and her son. The mother was in the wheelchair and she took them over. And then I got a call today and she's scheduled to take another voter tomorrow in this wheelchair, just a wonderful wheelchair accessible van that has all the bells and whistles. So that was just we lucked out there, because if I'd have gotten that call before she called me, if I'd gotten that, and we always get one or two people needing wheelchair accessible vehicles, and then we're scrambling to figure out who's doing it. I always hate to send them to the county because you have to register 3 days in advance. And if you're not registered, with them, you're out of luck. And so people on election day just can't do it. But now we've got this a woman who's, she's from Dousman. It takes her a while to get in the city, but she's just been such a godsend.
Great.
I think that's probably it, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to your helping direct us on this.
Yep, so Norma, if you can send me the updated spreadsheet, then
Yeah,
I'll
I'm gonna-
double check that tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'll get that back in sort of a shared drive, and then a couple of people, Richard and Peg, I re-entered some things while we were talking, so hopefully we can give those a try and correct for their difficulties.
Yeah, so-
I'm waiting for an email though, directing me how to do that. Correct?
I sent you an email with the username, but I can reply back and give you the full.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
If there was, if you need help with, I'll just put it in here, but the company is with all those details, okay?
I see your email, so that'll be helpful as
yeah,
a start.
yeah, okay. Yeah, and I'm around all evening, so please, if you got any questions, give me a call or text me or whatever, email me, and yeah, so we'll,
Thank you.
Okay,
anytime. Okay. Again, thank you all for being on the call here, and I think we're gonna get some things, it hasn't been going poorly, it's just been glitches here and there, and I think that's, we can expect that. We found this system 2 days before the training. So Dave is trying to learn the system as he's trying to train on it. Okay,
Part.
all
Okay,
right.
well,
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Good
thank
night.
you,
now.
Norma and Dave.
Thank you,
Great.
Norma.
Yep,
Thank you,
you're-
Dave.
you're welcome.
Bye-bye
Okay.
now.
Bye.
Thank you.